Welcome back. You are tuned in to Trader's Nation. My pleasure to have with us here today co-author Patrick Burns. You have also seen him on Haunting Evidence, author of The Other Side. Patrick, welcome to Trader's Nation. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Good, good. You know, Patrick, it used to be that you needed a crystal ball, a psychic, or even a Ouija board to make contact with the spirit world.
Well, you know, I do approach this from a bit of a skeptical perspective, and you know, I don't know if we're communicating for certain with the spirit world, but we do get some interesting results on our investigations.
Sure. All right. What kind of results are we looking at? I mean, from the very mild to nothing happening to something completely obvious?
Usually it's very mild, with nothing happening. That seems to be the majority of the time. And when it does occur, usually it's something pretty subtle.
Yeah.
But there's something called electronic voice phenomena, or EVP, and these are recordings of voices that show up on recording devices, not audible at the time the recording's made, but you play the recording back,
sure,
and there are these unaccounted for voices that are on the recording. It's the darndest thing, and I've recorded literally hundreds of these recordings.
Yeah, some of them I've watched your show, and you can clearly hear some of them. Then others, you just kind of barely. You've almost got to put it together.
Yeah, We classify EVPs into three categories.
Okay,
There's A category, A class, and B class, and C, with A being the best and C being the worst. And
right.
Yeah, a lot of them you really got to stretch your ear to hear it. You know, there's something there, but you really can't say for sure if it's a voice or what.
Right. You know, it amazes me because you have to have a trained ear for this, right, Patrick? Because even in the broadcast business, some of the stuff that I hear, but I wouldn't probably catch if I was there unless I was trained to hear it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. EVP, when it shows up on recordings, now occasionally we do get the Class A EVP.
Yeah.
It's unmistakable. It sounds just like you and I talking, and all of a sudden we got a third voice interjecting.
Right.
But most of the time, it's very low volume. It's a kind of a whisper is how it comes across, and a lot of times we have to kind of amplify and isolate the recording to make it more intelligible.
All right, and then today's technology and audio and editing software allows us to do that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's the software has really kind of pushed the whole field forward. You can do all sorts of filtering and noise reduction on these recordings now, and it used to be a Class C EVP might turn out to be a Class B or maybe even a Class A with a little bit of enhancement.
Right. All right. So what kind of tools are we talking about here? You've got the recorder. I mean, is this off-the-shelf stuff that people have an interest they can go and find and get these kind of tools, Patrick?
Yeah, that's the thing. To get started doing EVP work, you really need nothing more than a simple voice recorder. I've seen them in the stores for as little as $30.
Right.
And that's pretty much it. You know, that's where you get started. It's if that's the field of research that you want to look at is EVP.
Right.
That's pretty much a good starting point. And to me, EVP it's some of the most compelling stuff out there. There's also photographic evidence.
Right.
I work as a professional photographer, so I have a tendency to be a little bit more skeptical about strange images that I see in photographs, because I have a pretty good understanding of the mechanics of photography, and I know that there are all sorts of crazy reflections and whatnot that go on within the camera that can cause you to get all that.
And all right, so what would be the one tool that stands out from all the tools that you have at your disposal that would be hard to, for instance, like photography, the end of it, you've got the photo, or orbs or specks of dust. So what would be the one tool that is really kind of hard to beat, if you will, for evidence?
Well,
would it be the
a friend of mine named Bill Chappell invented a couple of devices.
Yeah.
One of them's called the Paranormal Puck, and the other one's called the Ovilus.
Okay.
And what they do is they take environmental data like the temperature, the EMF fields, and it basically sums all those values together into a single number.
Yeah.
And then it pulls a number or it pulls a word out of a synthesized dictionary built into the device.
Nice.
And majority of the time, what happens is you get just random words popping up that have no context or whatever.
Yeah.
And occasionally, from time to time, it starts stringing series of words together that do have a correlation to where you're investigating or a remark that somebody made. It's the darndest thing when it works, it really is pretty mind-boggling.
Right, so that machine I've seen at times actually answer questions that people have posed to the spirits.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
All right, now, if somebody was interested in this topic, should they go at it alone or maybe team up with some other people of the same interest?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. That is one of the points that we bring up in the book, is that, teams especially, should definitely be doing it with other people.
Yeah.
There's the safety factor, and I'm not talking about from a paranormal standpoint that something's going to attack you, but, if you go to a remote location and you're by yourself and you get injured, you fall, you trip, there's nobody to go for help. So, definitely the buddy system, safety in numbers.
Well, there may be like old buildings, old creaky steps, old creaky this, old creaky that, right? And people may fall through.
That's one of the points that we reiterated over and over again in the book was, look, as tempting as that dilapidated old building might be, it's probably condemned for a reason, and that reason is probably that it's structurally unsound.
All right, so
and represents a very, very serious danger to anybody that goes inside.
Safety, folks. All right, as Halloween comes up to us, where is the best place to look for spirits? I mean, outside of the obvious cemeteries, is that the best place, or where would it be?
Cemeteries, there are some investigators out there that say they don't believe that cemeteries are haunted.
Right.
That's where I kind of cut my teeth in this field starting out, and I can say with some degree of authority that we have gotten some really interesting results in cemeteries. But if you're looking for something that you want to investigate and maybe go play around, if there's a local paranormal research group already established in your area, you can contact them. Or if you're in a large city and there's, say, a ghost walking tour or a ghost tour, go on the tour and find out where some of the hot spots are around town.
Patrick, every city's got to have a hot spot, I'm sure of it.
Pretty much.
Has to have their historical ghost spot, right?
That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's the reason that I got interested in this versus UFOs and Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Seeing Bigfoot seems to be a matter of being in the right place at the right time, but there are ghost stories from coast to coast in every town, so you just got to look a little bit to find them.
All right, you mentioned about skeptics in cemeteries. There are skeptics in life, but are there really any in death?
True. Good point.
What do you think?
Good point. Skeptics in death.
Yeah. Something to think about, Patrick.
That's something to ponder. Do people cross over on the other side, and do they?
Think about that.
Are they skeptical about us?
I could be almost anything, Patrick. Anyway,
sure. I believe you have to be a skeptic to be an investigator of anything.
Right.
The best investigators are skeptics, and you have to put two and two together, and you have to investigate and rule stuff out, and that's the job of the investigator, and that's where the skepticism element comes into play.
Awesome. All right, The Other Side is the name of the book here today. Co-author Patrick Burns is with us today. Patrick, what about projects? What do you got going on? True TV, obviously, Haunting Evidence was one of the items. Are you still producing that? Is that still coming out to us?
No, we ended our run about a year ago with True TV.
Okay.
We filmed four episodes a year ago. 1 hour specials.
Nice.
And after 3 seasons, they decided that they wanted to move in a different direction. So I've got, I think last time I counted, I've got no fewer than about 5 new shows that are in development.
Nice.
A couple of which I'm pitching myself, and the others are being developed by other people who have asked me to participate. So nothing is firm yet, but I'm sort of throwing everything at the wall right now, seeing what sticks, and I'm certain that the world has not seen the last of Patrick Burns.
That's right,
I will be back.